What's up, YouTubers? I am Geek Girl Claire, and I just completed another 30-day SoulCycle challenge. It is called the Turn It Up Challenge, and this challenge is within 30 days, see how many rides you can complete. So there are various levels, so they actually increased the levels, made them a little harder this year, just a tad bit harder. So the levels are, instead of 5, 10, etc., 5, 10, 20, it's now 6, 12, 20, 30, and 50. So at the various levels, instead of giving you a physical prize, you actually get credit to purchase merchandise off of their store. So I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, oh wait, if I purchase stuff, then I have to pay shipping on that stuff. No, you get free shipping also. So in the past, when they would give you credit, they would not offer you free shipping, and now they do. So that's pretty cool right there. So you might say to yourself, well, wait a minute, I want a physical prize. I don't want just credit. So here's the funny thing. You can't satisfy everybody with these prizes. Some people like the physical prizes, other people like the credit, and so for whatever reason, they don't offer both. I don't know why. Maybe it should be a choice, right? That'd be cool. You choose the physical prize or you choose the retail credit. That would be cool. I don't know how difficult that would be to implement, but yeah, that's maybe something to think about in the future for SoulCycle. But anyway, my 30-day challenge that I actually completed in 25 days. So yes, I completed 30 rides in 25 days. Yes. And so I think I led my studio with that, just like I did last time too. The first time I did the challenge was back in October, and I led my studio with 30 rides. Nobody reached the plateau, the peak of 30 rides. That's pretty cool. In the Ardmore studio, so I'm in the Philly studio, the Ardmore studio, one of my colleagues on my team actually achieved the 50 ride tier. So it's like, whoa, that's crazy. 50 rides in 30 days. Whoa. So she was doing 2 a days and even 3 a days at times. And that was really, really, wow, that's impressive. So I was thinking about doing 3 rides a day. And I said to myself, well, is that humanly possible for me? I'm 58 years old. I have a lot of energy, but not that much energy. And so the thing is, first, before I try to do 3 rides in a day, I should try to do 2 rides in a day consistently. So that's what I did. So for the first 2 weeks or so, I did 2 rides a day, basically 5 times a week. And so I got a whole number of rides that way. I got 20 rides that way. And then the final 2 weeks, I let myself coast a little bit by doing 1 ride on average every day. And that worked out really well. So I was able to accumulate my 30 rides in no time. So yeah, pretty darn cool. So what is my prize at this tier? At 30 rides, you get $100 in retail credit. So yeah, so there are different tiers. There's $25, $50, $75, $100, and the $125. At the highest tier, you get not just the $125 retail credit, but also a chance to win, a chance, not the actual product, but a chance to win the denim jacket. That, I guess it's a SoulCycle denim jacket. That's pretty cool. But there was one other promotion that they had. I think they said something about if you complete 6 rides by a certain time period, which I did, then I think you either get the prize or you get a chance to win the prize. But it's something to the effect of you get some sort of a thing, a physical thing, for completing 6 rides. And I think maybe it's just a chance to win that thing, because I definitely completed my 6 rides by that time frame, and I didn't receive the item. I didn't receive any notice about winning the item. So I guess it's just the chance to win that. So yeah, lots of chances to win things, but not actually winning those things. So yeah, oh well, but at least you get the retail credit, right? So, but here's the cool thing. It's not about the prize for me. I could care less about the prize, to be quite honest. The last prize that I got was this water bottle, which is not here. It was an Aero water bottle, and that contained a built-in carbonator inside its cap, so that I could carbonate water. Now you can only do this 5 times with each cartridge, so it wasn't one of those long-lasting kinds of things. It wasn't like getting one of those soda streams, for example. It was a limited cartridge, a limited carbon dioxide cartridge that basically had enough for five fizzes. And yeah, that was pretty cool. It was worth $80. But I can't see myself actually paying $80 for something like that. So it wasn't a prize that I was I must have this. when I got to that point where I redeemed the prize, I was like, it's kind of cool. Yeah. But I wasn't like super enthusiastic about it. I was like happy that I won something, but to me, like back then, the first 30-day challenge, to me, it was all about trying to get through the entire challenge. So what happened in the middle of that first challenge was a freak accident. I hurt my knee and ankle, my knee on one leg and ankle on the other, very badly, and I wasn't sure I was going to be able to continue the challenge. And so it took severe force of will to be able to continue and work through all of my injuries so that I could complete the challenge. Now, in those final rides, in the final 2 weeks of the first challenge, I had to basically like step back and kind of like tone down all of the vigor that I had in my usual practice, my usual SoulCycle classes. And so I didn't do as much cardio in those final 2 weeks as I would have liked. But that's just my type A personality talking. Like I was always like gung ho, front row seat, right there, smack in the center, right there, looking right at the instructor. And so yeah, that's just me. Like some people, they want to hide in a class like that and they want to go in the back and they want to just be like part of the background. No, not me. I have to be in the forefront. I have to be like up there with the instructor, basically. And so I feel that by doing so, that will help me rapidly progress rather than regress or just stay complacent. I don't want to stay complacent in any activity I do. I want to try to be the best that I can be. So that's why I basically like got to the front after 23 rides or so. And now that I'm on my 212th ride, I'm like much better than I was at the 23rd ride. But that's only because like being up front, it forces me to do better, right? So the number one person who's going to feel most upset about not doing the choreo well is me. Like, if I see myself doing choreo in the mirror and I'm not doing what the other people are doing, I feel really, really bad about even like being there. So I have to like work that much harder to make sure that I'm on pace with everybody else and I'm in sync with everybody else. And so, yeah, I see a lot of people around me and they're all like doing their own thing and they're in the front row. And I'm like, why are you in the front row doing your own thing? At least try to get in sync with the teacher here. The teacher's doing this thing. She's moving, like you're supposed to mirror her movements. So if she's like stepping down with her left leg, you should be stepping down with your right leg. And so there's always like half the class seems to be always not in sync. And that's like kind of frustrating. And yeah, that's just how it is. I don't think it's any fault of their own. I think they're trying and I'm trying. And so we're all trying. And so, yeah, we just try to do the best that we can. But yeah, if you're in the front row, then try to be in sync with everyone. Otherwise, stay in the second row or third row. So yeah, and until you feel like you are ready, then move up, right? Otherwise, stay in the back row. Stay in the back row and learn the syncing. The most important thing about SoulCycle is learning to be in sync. And if you're not in sync, sit down and try to get in sync again until you are in sync and then you get up again. So yeah. So the prizes are not the physical prizes, the retail credit, that's not the true prize. For me, the prize was the fact that my blood pressure has never been better. So I'm going to tell you this. I had a certain pride about myself for the longest time, and that pride took over my whole way of thinking to the point where I just felt really, really like upset with myself if I wasn't in top shape. So when I was younger, my blood pressure was 140 over 80 something, and back then my doctor would say things about my blood pressure. My friends would tell me, hey, you should do something about your high blood pressure. And I would say, no, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. I feel great. And then a decade later, I got into the 150s, 150 over 90 something in my blood pressure. And then my friends would say, you better go get your blood pressure checked. You shouldn't be 150 something over 90 something. That's like kind of like high blood pressure right there. It's like getting up there. And I said to them, no, don't worry about me. I'm perfectly fine. I could withstand anything. I'm solid as a rock. And then it gets worse 10 years later, 160s. Then most recently, 174 over 100. And I would walk 3 blocks and I'd feel like exhausted. I would have to I feel like I was ready to conk out. Now, I'm just going to say something right now. If you do conk out in the middle of the street, you fall flat on your face, who's going to help you? Now, I'm talking about a big city now. I live in a big city. So who's going to help you get back up if you conk out? You might have a good Samaritan help you, but most likely you won't. And who's going to call 911 to get an ambulance to help you? Most likely a lot of people are just going to walk right on by you, thinking that you're some sort of homeless person or drunk or something. They were not going to help you. Some people will even walk right over you. So I thought about these things and I thought to myself, maybe it is time to get my blood pressure checked. Maybe it is time to swallow my pride and consider going to the doctor to get my blood pressure, medication, whatever that might be. But I was still stubborn, and it took three times being in the emergency room for me to realize that, hey, this is not working for me. I can't just not be on medication. I have to be on something, otherwise I'll be in deep trouble. So let me describe a little bit of who I am before, that's me right there. Number 6 in the world, and not a boast, it's right there. This is from last year. And then 2023, I was the bronze medalist in the United States in yoga competition. So that's a whole nother ball of wax, by the way. Some of you might say, hey, you can't compete in yoga. Well, yes, you can. Just like you really shouldn't be competing in gymnastics, but people do. You shouldn't compete in other things, but yet people do. And so they have yoga competitions now. And the yoga competitions are not we're going to sit around and just meditate all day. No. We're talking about doing basically like a gymnastics routine for up to 3 minutes, 6 poses in different categories, and you are trying to demonstrate your mastery of a certain aspect of yoga asana, which is yoga poses. So it's harder than it sounds. It's much harder than it sounds. And not everybody can do it. And if you can do it, great. But in general, it takes a lot of practice, a lot of training to be able to get up there, walk on stage, and be judged by the harshest critics in the world. So you see all of those Olympic games where they give 9s and 10s for things. They seem to almost wantonly give out 9s and 10s for things. You're going to rarely see a 9 or a 10 for a yoga pose. Judges just don't do that. You'll be happy to get a 7. If you get an 8, that's great. And if you consistently get 8s or above, you're pretty darn good. And if you consistently get 8s or above, you get to be in a picture like that. But see, here's the thing. Even though I was able to do that, I still had these heart issues, and it wasn't until I got my medication, my health in order, before I can continue doing stuff like that. And it took the strongest force of will to convince myself that seeing a doctor, seeing a cardiologist, getting my medication right is the most important thing that I should be thinking of for continued health. And so at 58 years old, your heart condition is a very important aspect of your life. It's going to affect your quality of life. So you have to kind of realize that and not be so pig-headed. So yeah, when I had my my medications adjusted properly, they had to switch me between different medications to get to the correct one. And then I insisted that they lower my dosage to the minimal amount. Now, again, I'm that stubborn type, right? So I wanted to make sure that I was taking as little medicine as possible to get the job done. I don't want to rely on the medication, because relying on too much medication, that just feels wrong to me. I feel like it's a crutch. I feel like, your body should be able to heal itself, and just try to let your body heal itself rather than like swarm it with tons and tons of medicine. So I'm on the smallest dosage of olmesartan, and that's kept it brought my 170 something over 100 blood pressure down to about 120 over 80. And so that's what I was hovering around for the longest time. On occasion, it would spike to the 140s over 80s again, 140s over 90s. And that would be a scare, but typically it would go back to the 120 over 80 like within a day or two. Now, fast forward to SoulCycle. Now that I'm doing SoulCycle, especially after this 30-day challenge, I checked my blood pressure once again, and I measured it to be 106 over 60. I have never had blood pressure that low. And it felt great to have like a normal blood pressure. And I consider it to be kind of too low, but it's great that my heart health is so much better now. Now I can actually walk a mile without feeling winded. And a mile to you might seem like that's nothing. And like to a walker or a runner, that's nothing. But a mile to me, like ask me 2-3 years ago, I would have been like so tired after that. I would have been feeling like ready to conk out. And like I said, it came to a point where something was happening to my body, something was changing such that my health was deteriorating, and just walking 3 blocks would make me doggone tired and ready to fall over, keel over. I just wanted to sit down in the middle of the street and just rest. And if you sit down in the middle of a crowded street in a big city like Philadelphia, people will look at you like you're some sort of nut. And that's not what I want to do, right? So I don't want to sit down in the middle of the street and have people look at me and me feeling embarrassed about the whole situation. So got to get my blood pressure in order. So yeah, the SoulCycle thing, all of these classes have brought my blood pressure down so much. And if you look at my arms, they're pretty jacked from SoulCycle, those arm exercises. If you look at my legs, they look pretty jacked. My stomach could be better, right? But I attribute that to me being 58 years old, and also my metabolism slowing down a bit because of age, and also the possibility that, the blood pressure medication could also be slowing me down too. If your body's always used to a high blood pressure, then you've got a high heart rate, you're always on the run, go, 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 do everything, don't sleep at all. Sleeping for me was it was a rarity for me because I didn't want to miss out on all the glory. So now I sleep a little bit more. I sleep an hour more each day, and that's a good thing for me because I feel more rested. But in the past, it was go, 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 do, jump, jump, jump. Yeah, jump to my grave. So I'm just going to say right now that, there are certain things that you should do to maintain your health, whether it be SoulCycle or yoga or any sort of fitness activity that you enjoy. Just go out and do it. Make sure you're doing it every single day. Make sure that you like what you're doing, because if you don't like what you're doing, you're not going to do it. So do that activity that you love, that physical activity that you love, as much as you can, within tolerances, of course. You don't want to make you want to make sure that you don't keel over and die, right? So don't push yourself that hard, but do push yourself. Just try to make sure that you stay within a healthy range. I have friends who pushed themselves way too hard and they ended up paying a price for it. And one of them died because he pushed himself way too hard in his weightlifting. Please don't do that. Please try to work within your limits, and remember that this is the slow, long game. This is not a quick, fast game. Your health depends on you being smart about everything you do, physically and mentally as well. So SoulCycle happens to be a thing that has helped me. If it helps you, then great. I don't recommend it for everyone, but if you can do it, It is an intense workout, 45 minutes of high intensity interval resistance training on a stationary bike. And it sounds like you're not doing that much, but in 45 minutes, you're pumping your legs again and again and again. About 13 miles of riding, basically. And then you do this crazy rapid arm workout that lasts somewhere around 3 to 4 minutes. So it's not a lot for that, but you're doing everything at such a rapid pace that you're really blasting your arms and building up, toning the arms. You're not building muscle, you're toning the muscle. Your muscle's already there. You're just toning it. So if you have big arms to start with, you're going to have toned big arms when you're done with SoulCycle classes. So yeah, it's pretty darn cool. So the benefit, the prize, is not the physical or the retail thing for the Turn Up Challenge. It is health, physical health. And I feel that that's the best prize of all. So yeah, very, very cool. Thank you, SoulCycle. If you like this video, please slam the like button, subscribe to my channel. You'll see more videos just like this one. Until next time, everybody, see you. Bye.